Welcome back if you're returning. Today's video we relax into autumn. This is our last day in the UK from our France trip. It was the day before we flew back and we are boating down the River Thames, and it was a long hot day, and as those long days of summer are gone and the days grow cooler and the autumn nights draw in, many of us start to turn to hibernation mode. We think of warming fires and autumnal evenings. It's also the start of cosy season for decor. The holiday season encompasses fall all the way to New Year's. Today I have a thrift haul with some of the items I picked up overseas and a look at how I decorate for the autumn season. I just wanted to take a minute to mention a little channel I found. It's called The Joy of Things, and if you enjoy thrift hauls and nostalgia and somebody who really enjoys life, check this little channel out. I've put the link in my description below. It is delightful and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. This is the video that I didn't have time to put into last week's video because it was drawing out too long. But these are a few of the items. Now you've got to bear in mind we didn't do an awful lot of shopping because most of the time we were in France with the house trying to get things sorted. But I did pick up a few items. These little buttons the Union Jacks on were the last 4 packets they had, and I didn't know what I'm going to use them for, but I saw them and I loved them, so I had to buy them. That was a little haberdashery store that we found, along with this Union Jack ribbon, which was £1.25, and then this beautiful velvet ribbon that's in the 2 spools. Now normally when you buy velvet ribbon in Canada anyway, you get like 3 or 4 turns around the spool. This is all the way, and it was marked £3, but it was 50% off, so I think I got both of these for £3, which they're just beautiful, lovely quality ribbon. I also did a little bit of thrifting, of course, while I was in the UK. They have some of the best little shops, and so many of them, and got this little packet, and this was £1, and it had all these lovely little sewing needles, all different sizes and shapes. And for somebody who sews, and I do, you can't always find these types of needles, not like you used to be able to. So I saw this and I had to pick it up, and it was quite the collection, all the different needles, and some of these are really quite old. And then there was a little, you can see this little container has like it's like a little wallet, and it's got an actual little sewing kit, which I always find really handy. You know, if you're going away somewhere or you're away from home, you throw it in your purse, it comes in really handy. So I'm very pleased I picked up all these little needles and pins. Again, £1. I just wanted to say, you can tell by my voice I have a little bit of a cold, so sorry about that. If I stop and cough, I apologise. I did manage to visit my sister while I was in the UK and stayed with her for a little while, and we did a little bit of antique shopping, and I picked up these little earrings, the cameo earrings, for £4. Don't know what material they're made of. They're in really nice state. They're quite heavy. I don't think they're not stamped with anything, but I had to pick those up. I really love those. I also picked from the same antique shop this magnifying glass. Now there was 2 there. There was this silver one, and there was one with a bone handle. Now I kind of wish I'd have picked them both up. I don't need them both, that's why I only picked up the silver one, but the other one was really lovely as well, and I think that was £16. This little William Morris card holder was from a museum in the same little town. I believe it was in the same town. And this is where over the last few years I've picked up quite a few of my William Morris items. They have a massive big collection there. So I saw that and I had to pick that up. I also picked up this glasses case, again William Morris, different prints. This was different to the last time I was there. They've increased their patterns. They used to just have the William Morris Strawberry Thief, but they've put a lot more patterns in now, obviously, as this has got more popular. So I picked those up for my glasses, and I also picked up this water bottle. This was £10.25, and I had to buy this. It was just gorgeous, and you just don't see these in the US or Canada. Not that I've seen them anyway. So again, because I'm such a William Morris nut, I do tend to pick up things that are related to William Morris when I see them, and that's usually in the UK. This was in the little town where we went on the boat trip, so this was the day before we flew back to the UK, and this is not William Morris, but it's very inspired by, and this was from the Victoria and Albert Museum collection, which again, beautiful patterns, very nostalgic. And at the airport, we were walking around, we had time before the flight, and I found this advent calendar, again William Morris, and this was from the Harrods shop, and it is gorgeous. Just the box alone is beautiful, and then it is full of all sorts. So I will be opening this at Christmas. I want to open it so badly now, but I'm going to wait until Christmas, and I'm going to open it every day in Advent, and I will add those to my Christmas videos. But as you can see, how could anyone leave this behind? I also picked up Robins Appear When Loved Ones Are Near for myself and my sister. These are obviously self-explanatory. When you see a little robin, it's something that we've all kind of recognised. Other than that, I did go to a couple of pound stores and picked up a couple of little items. Literally, these were under £1 each, I believe. I've got little mice, 3 bags of little mice, and a bag of spiders to use in my Halloween display. I've got quite the display in mind for this Halloween. And then these little bats. Again, I have a set that I'd used in years past that I picked up for a considerable amount of money. These were £1, and the quality is just as good, so picked up those few items for Halloween. I always like to pick up British flags and maps if I see them, especially if they've got the vintage look to them. This was a little pipe that I picked up at one of the museums. They were very popular in the turn of the century in my area where I grew up. During the Industrial Revolution, these little pipes were used and made locally, so I thought I'd pick one of those up. I picked up this bunting of Union Jacks. I liked the quality and also the colours. They looked more of a vintagey style, so I grabbed that. I also grabbed this pillow. This was in an antique shop. It's not an antique, obviously, but it's like a chenille velvet, and I just thought it was beautiful, and it reminded me of the colours of my couch, so I've grabbed that, and that is actually on my couch at the moment. I also found the schoolroom map. This was actually in with wrapping paper in one of the little shops we visited, and it's a proper old map from, like when I was a kid, so that's how old that is. But I like things like this. Obviously it's very nostalgic, and it's reminds you of your school days, for good or bad. So I grabbed one of those, and this is going to go up in the house. I put it up actually in the laundry room, along with some of the pictures. It goes perfectly in there. Also, since I've got back, I've done a little bit of thrifting. I managed to find this tray for $1. This is beautiful. I really love the colours and the style of this. It's very, obviously, nostalgic to me. I picked up this lampshade. This was $1. I've used this in my decorating already. I also picked up these little earrings as part of a craft I'm doing for Halloween. And funny story, I didn't have my close-up glasses on. These were candlesticks and the glue sticks. So let's get into cozy mode. So I'm giving everything a really good clean, dusting and polishing. And a couple of my silver items are really quite tarnished. Now I go through phases where I don't mind tarnish, but I thought, you know what, I want everything nice and clean and shiny. I want it to look nice and shiny. So I tried a few different methods of cleaning them. and the best one that I found were these wipes. So you can get them on Amazon. I picked them up from our local hardware store, and they work so well. Like I said, I had a few items. Everything's thrifted, obviously, and I've had for a while. This was a little vase, so it's silver on the bottom, and then it's got a glass piece on top. So I would suggest wearing rubber gloves if you're doing this. I didn't, and I got it all over my hands, the tarnish that comes off, and in my nails. It took a couple of days to get it clean, but the end results are beautiful. That's the one. I'll show you the rest as in the house tour. So as part of my decorating, I tend to finish jobs that I've started or once in the rooms that I'm working on. So this was a little job that I've been wanting to do for a while. I have a little lamp in the living room that is like a French lady, and I recovered the lampshade with the curtain material. I recently picked up a little boy lamp with no lampshade, so this is the lampshade I got this last week. I've covered it with the same curtain material that I had, and then I've just glued them into paste, matching it as best as I can. And then I made these little panels, and you can see I've just cut strips, glued them down, and made almost like ribbons, and then these are going to be glued onto the seams on the lamp shade that I've just made. And then I'm going to trim it all with some upholstery trim, and then you'll see what it looks like in the living room and the other side of the TV. So they don't match exactly, but they do go together. So you can see how it's finished it, adding those little pieces that I've glued down. It's just made it look so much better. And of course this little lampshade doesn't match the other one, but it's close enough. It has different trim, it's slightly different design, but the colours are very similar and it's the same material. And because it's a different lamp, I think you can get away with it. They're close enough that it looks like a matching set. So you can see I've just added the trim to the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to cover the little gentleman hold that is the lamp, the base of the lamp. I'm going to cover him in a layer of glossy decoupage to give him the same finish, because he has a matte finish and the other little girl has a gloss finish, so that will also add to give it a look of a matching pair. So the lampshade's done, and this is just regular dollar store Mod Podge, a gloss as I said, and I'm just going to coat him in a layer of this. I found just one coat was good enough, and when I was finished he had a lovely glossy shine to him, again which matched the style of the original lamp. So I had a few items that I really wanted to update. I didn't want to buy anything new. I picked up a couple of little things. This was from the Dollar Tree. This little cloche is $1.25. And I wanted to make a little something for my coffee table in the living room. And I wanted to make it sort of a Halloween and fall item. So I wanted to dress this up also, so I'm going to glue a piece of the green ribbon to the bottom, and then I had these little hands from a past project. I used black craft paint, chalk paint, painted them black, and then as you can see I'm sticking the ribbon all the way around the bottom. I did use the new craft ribbon that I picked up in the UK, and what I did was I just started gluing it around the rim because there was a gap, so I went all the way around, glued it there, and then glued the rest of it to the bottom of the base as I went. And I then stuck the hands into the base, just took a glob of glue and held them there till it cooled down, made sure that they were at the right angle to close the cloche, and then I just glued the bottom of the cloche and added some moss, and then grabbed a little pumpkin from my stash, put that in there and topped it with a little butterfly, which absolutely goes with all of the rest of my decor. And I have a really lovely little Halloween / fall item just to sit on my coffee table, and just brings again another little element of fall into the living room. This is a thrifted pumpkin. I love the size of it. I love that it's hollow. And I like the quality of it, but I don't like the colour. So what I decided to do was mark a number of little marks all the way round in equal distance, and then using 2 different drill bits I drilled bigger and smaller holes with the idea of inserting lights into the pumpkin, which would give you a nice little ambient light at night. And this is what I wanted to put in my hallway, because it looks so pretty. That's why I always like it in the winter time, because I always have a little Christmas tree or something with these little twinkle lights in, and it always looks so nice. So I've drilled all the holes, I've marked a place, drilled the holes. Now I'm taking the tissue paper that I got from the Victorian Albert Museum that looks like the William Morris. I've taken off 2 layers of ply on it, and I'm cutting it into pieces, panels, and then I'm going to decoupage them onto the pumpkin. And the nice thing about this is you can still kind of see the colour come through underneath in the white spots on the tissue paper, but it's not as strong as this colour, which, because like I said, it's a nice pumpkin, I'm just not keen on the colour. As I'm going, I am poking the holes through with the end of my paintbrush, and I think you'll agree it looks really lovely in the hallway. So having said that, let's get on with the fall home tour. So here we are in the first room through the back door, which is the library. This is such a cosy room anyway. It was just a matter of, I usually change out the curtains, but I'm not going to change them out yet. I've still got my summer curtains up because it's still really quite lovely and warm during the day. The evenings it cools down a lot, but I don't need the heavy curtains yet. Those will be for my Christmas home tour probably. So I've just I have lots and lots of little pumpkins, so I've just kind of added the little pumpkins in here and there. There's nothing dramatic in here. I threw a nice big throw on the couch, the crocheted throw, and then just put pumpkins on the wall and little autumnal items here and there. You'll notice there's a few little mentions to giving thanks and Thanksgiving. Well, in Canada we have Thanksgiving the first week of October, so it is much easier for us to decorate for fall, enjoy Thanksgiving, and then right after Thanksgiving we start to decorate for Halloween. I mean, that's what I do, which makes it a lot easier. In the US, of course, Thanksgiving is literally a month before Christmas, so if you're decorating for fall, you've kind of got to incorporate, well, your Thanksgiving is in with your Christmas decor, so it's a little different. But like I said, in Canada I can absolutely add in Thanksgiving items with my fall decor because of the timing. So you can see that's a picture of my mum and dad when they got married, and it's got a really weird green tinge to it. It's the only picture I've got right now, but it matched perfectly with the little pumpkin, so that little vignette came together very nicely. So for seasonal decorating, I like to add a little bit of it to each of the rooms. So this is the downstairs powder room. So it felt just enough to add a little bit of black and white pumpkins. I changed out for a couple of autumnal soaps and some seasonal towels, which are either orange and black or fall related, and it's just that little pop, just so that every room has a little bit of the season. Of course, I did the same in the kitchen. Nothing major. I like to decorate the kitchen a lot at Christmas time, but at fall it's just bringing out the autumn colours, changing out things that just seem more autumnal, and just adding little pops of colour with the pumpkins, and the florals are definitely autumn related. I do find that a couple of little vignettes that I already have do lend themselves to some seasons better than others, and I find that with this little horse riding shelf it just seems more autumnal than most. So into the dining room, you can see there just at the back is the vase that I've cleaned with the silver. You can't actually see it because it's hidden behind everything, but it does look so much better. It looks lovely. I will probably use that more in my future decorating. This little picture is something that I thrifted a few weeks ago, and I think it was either $1 or 50 cents. Perfect for this blank wall behind the curiosity cabinet, which is quite high up, and I'd taken the artwork down previously, and it just adds that again, that lovely pop of autumn colour. This is one of the magnifying glasses that I'd picked up from the antique store in the UK. And again, a lot of the things I haven't changed out terribly because they do lend themselves to autumn decor anyway. The curio cabinet itself I haven't changed because that is a big part of my Halloween decorating. So I've got big plans for that for Halloween, but for now it's just staying the way it is. Over to the dining table, and I think you'll agree, it looks amazing with the polished urn. It came up so well. It took a little bit of work. I also did the candlesticks, and they turned out really nicely as well. The candles in there are not real because I do like to use these candles at night, and if I'm using the candles I don't like to use real ones because I tend to forget about them, and when they're artificial I have no worries of setting the house on fire. But just look how beautiful this looks. It is so gorgeous. It's got such a lovely shine on it, and it just adds to the whole scene. It looks great. I've added the pumpkin that I picked up in Michael's a few years ago after the fall season, and I think it was just a couple of dollars. I think they do still sell them at Michael's, and I think they're probably about $10-12, something like that. So, but I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Just a little bit of greenery and some leaves. Now, I don't go overboard with the fall decor. I do tend to do more Halloween and especially Christmas, but I do like to change things up seasonally. I think after 2 or 3 months, it's nice to have a different look, move things around. You can see there that little silver holder with a candle in, that was tarnished. That came up beautifully as well. That's actually a candle that I thrifted for 25 cents. I just like the shape and the colours of it are very appropriate for fall. The rest of the decor is literally just adding little leaves into things. I love how that looks with when the light reflects off the little glass handles and knobs. And then again, just pumpkins. The next pumpkin has got the twinkle lights inside, and they're on timer, so they just come on at night, and it just looks so cozy and autumny. So here we are now in the living room, and there's the lamp that I bought previously, and there's the little guy that I've matched it to. So you can see the lampshade. That turned out really well. I'm very pleased with that. And there's my little fella, and you can see he's got a bit of a gloss on him, which certainly makes him match a little bit better. But I think, without being too matchy-poo, they go together lovely on either side of the fireplace, which is exactly the look I was going for. other than the window, I've tried to clean them, I can't get to them from the outside. I love the way this has turned out. I love all the different candles sizes, and then all the different colours, the varying colours of the candlesticks. Now this is something that I've done in the past with Easter eggs, but I thought this year I'll try it with all the little pumpkins that I have. I've made all these little pumpkins over time, most of them. I got a couple from the Dollar Tree in the past, but I just think it looks so different, and I'm really pleased. The candles and the little pumpkins, I like that they're all different colours and nothing really matches. So I'm very happy with how this little window alcove has turned out. So when it came to the couch, I did take off the summer slipcover, and I think for the fall and winter this is definitely a cosier look. I love the red velvet, and I love how the pillows all look together on the couch. This was on one of the little couch side tables. I just popped in some leaves, and then when it came to the top of the fireplace, I knew I wanted the pheasants in, and I had a load of different pheasant feathers. I did find a eucalyptus garland, but it wasn't very full. So from my stash, it actually came out of my Christmas stash, I found more eucalyptus leaves and just popped them in just to give it a bit of a fuller look. I took out the velvet pumpkins because I liked just the contrast with the green, the feathers, and then the little decoupage pumpkins. And again with the TV art, I just think it looks really, it looks so autumnal. So I'm pleased with how the whole fireplace area has turned out. So finally to the coffee table. There's the little cloche that I made with the little skeleton hands holding the pumpkin and the butterfly. I think it's turned out lovely, and again this can carry over to Halloween. I incorporated it with a little candle. That is a little copper Moscow Mule mug, and I put a little bit of artificial greenery in and popped it on the little tray that I thrifted last week. Again, the colours are very autumnal and it all works together, and I love the gold with the navy. So I think everything complements everything else, and it's just a lovely calming colour combination. It's very deep, it's very moody, and it's very cosy, which is perfect for this season. This is the front hallway. I added a little leaf garland to the banister. This is one that I picked up years ago from the dollar store. It's very sparse, so what I did was I glued some extra leaves that I'd thrifted over the last little while, and then just popped on the little pumpkins, which have been bought from Dollar Tree. Now I don't think you can get them at the moment, so you have to be early in the season to get them, and those were from my stash. Again in the hallway, just added the pumpkin that I made. You can see how it's turned out. You can just see the colour underneath. Excuse me, the teal colour coming through, but when it's lit up it looks so pretty, especially at night. I did hollow out a little hole in the bottom of this, just big enough to slot in the lights, but I love how it goes with the whole feel of the hallway, which is dark and moody, obviously with the a lot of the William Morris prints. It goes perfectly. So I hope you enjoyed my fall home tour and the couple of little crafts that I did. Over the next few weeks I will be doing a lot more Halloween inspired crafts and decor, because I have a bit of a different Halloween planned this year. I'm going very Charles Dickens, and like I said, I've got a few things planned, so I hope to get that started next week, and we'll see you all very soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to put the bell on so you don't miss any of my videos, and don't forget to take a look at The Joy of Things. I'm sure you're going to enjoy her channel. So keep happy and safe, and I'll see you soon.